Okay, to get started making these bookmarks, you're going to need a ruler and some scissors, some glue, a glue stick or Elmer's glue is fine, and different colored paper. And if you just have white paper, you can color it after with markers too. That's fine. So I'm going to start with this pink paper in order to make a pig. And I want a square that is 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. So I'm just going to make some marks here on my piece of paper so I know how where to cut this 5.5 inch square. So I'm just making a small mark on each side of the square, and then I'll just draw a line. And once we do this once, I'll show you later in the video, you can use the rest of your paper, the piece that you cut out from, as a template to cut more squares. So you really just need to measure the one time, and I'm choosing 5.5 inches because I feel like that fits really nicely on the corner of a page. So we'll go ahead and get this piece cut out so that we have the right size to start making a bookmark. And now we're going to start folding our square. So we fold it in half across the middle this way to make these two rectangles. Then we're going to unfold it and do the same fold going the other way. This just gives us a few lines through the middle. And then we are going to remove one of the squares in the corner. So we'll just have a piece of paper that has 3 little squares. So I'm going to cut this one out. And this is great too because this little piece that I'm cutting out will be perfect to use to make details for your animal face, like ears and a nose. So now you have this shape, and we want to fold each of these 2 squares on the side in half. So I'm going to draw a line down the middle of this triangle just so that I have a guide for where to fold it. You're just folding it directly down the middle, so if you don't feel like you need the guide, you don't have to do this step, but it can be helpful to make sure you're folding it correctly. So now we're going to fold these outer triangles in across the line towards the center of our paper so that we end up with a shape that looks like this. And now, in order to make the final shape, we're going to fold these 2 corners in on themselves. And if you're finding they don't fit exactly, you can trim them. One of my edges has a little bit extra on it. Maybe my square wasn't so precise, but that's okay because I can just trim that piece off here so that they fold nicely together. So you're sort of making a little pocket to go over the corner of a page. So I'm going to fold them. And then I will put glue on the top of this piece so that they can stay together and make our bookmark. And this is the same shape that we will make for each bookmark. So once you get this down, the only thing stopping you from making as many animals as you want is your imagination. I'm going to show you a few today, but you could do anything that you think of. So this is the basic bookmark shape, and you can see this little pocket there that's going to slide over the top of your page for your bookmark. I'm going to show you how to make a pig. I have an example here that I did, and I'm going to take a scrap of white paper to cut out the eyes. And when I'm cutting 2 of something that are the same, I like to just fold my paper so it's a double layer and then cut that way, and I'll be able to cut 2 of the same little circles out. You can do whatever shape you want. You can make the eyes however you would like to. This is just how I'm choosing to do it on the pig. So I have these 2 little white eyes, and then I'm going to cut out a nose and some ears, and I'll just use that extra piece that we cut out earlier as I mentioned, that's perfect for this use. So I'm going to cut a nose that's a little bit bigger than the eyes. You could make it an oval. I'm making mine round. Do it however you think you want your pig's nose to look like. And then I'm going to do my trick again for the ears so that they are the same. I'm just going to fold my paper, and that way I don't have to cut something twice too, which is kind of nice. And I'm going to cut the shape of the ears out. I'm going to make mine kind of big. That way too I have a little bit more to glue on to the back when we're assembling our pig bookmark. So now I have everything I need to put my pig together. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make a frog bookmark, and as you can see, in order to cut the square, I'm just using that piece of paper that I measured my 5.5 inch by 5.5 inch square earlier as a template. So you can do that if you want, or if it's easier for you, you can also go ahead and draw it, trace your lines on there to cut it as well. So however you want to cut out a new square of paper, 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. And then we'll go through the same exercise of folding it across one way and then the other to get those lines. And I'm going to cut out this little piece that I will later use for eyes and maybe a nose. I might find a scrap of red paper to use for my frog tongue. So it's going to be the same exact process because it's the same shape every time. So I'm not even going to draw the lines. I'm just going to fold these triangles in to get the shape that I need. So here I have a few other animals that I've done. I did this hippo with some little tiny purple ears on top and a big oval nose and some big white teeth because hippos have big mouths. And I made a chicken. I just used some scraps of red paper to make the little feather on top and its little beak. So those are some animals that I did, but you can do anything you want. So what animals will you come up with to use as corner bookmarks? I'll show you how neatly you can just stick this. Oh, how perfect. We have a page with a pig on it, and we're going to put our pig bookmark over the corner like that. It's a perfect way to keep your place in whatever book you're reading. So I hope you have fun making lots of animal bookmarks.